All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I'm going to try to go over four stocks here. We're going to look at TTOO, QBTS, LCID, and NVOS. Okay, man, TTOO, again, I am not here pretending that I thought the 50 was going to break the red line right here. I'm still a little sad that it didn't. I'll be honest, I'm not holding any bags, so it's, kind of like a no money lost sad thing. Believe me when I say that, okay? But yeah, if this thing gets over the 50, oh man, I for sure will want to be in, okay? And we're gonna talk about the fake outs that this thing has had, but TTOO, it's on an interesting line as well. So excited to talk about this one. QBTS, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the chart looks like. I have been looking elsewhere. I think the quantum stocks are actually doing okay too. So kind of a good thing for me to look at this in all honesty. But yeah, I do need to look at that one, just like I said. Lucid, I covered the other EV stocks on the last video. I'm glad I can actually make one more and squeeze this one in because yeah, I know Lucid's been getting a lot more volume, and volume is king in my book. So that's important all on its own, right? So don't really know what the Lucid chart looks like, but again, I know volume has been really picking up and really consistently holding. And then just last and unfortunately least is NVOS. It's been a really long time since I've covered NVOS. I remember a few of the people that I used to comment on with too. So like, I'd honestly love to hear from you. I don't know if you held on or if you hit the eject button once the moving average is lost. But yeah, NVOS clearly never did what it was supposed to do. And yeah, it is looking sad. It actually is. So yeah, but before we go any further, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we will use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this thing on the internet, comment good or bad. Look, I swear, if you disagree with me, I'm not here to hate on you, all right? But anything you can do to help me out really, really does help me out. And I'm not going to lie, sharing the video actually is probably the biggest help for me because I am just doing this solo, right? But all that said, let's get into TTOO. And again, the whole story really is the 50 moving average, okay? I'm going to just zoom out a little bit. You can see it, right? It's been a struggle to get over, let alone stay over the line, right? We get over it and then we kind of stay with it right there. But then obviously no other point in this view, man, even further, right? Basically, since this right here, since March of 2021, okay, there has been, we'll call it 1, 2 little moments. And I don't want to say little, this one was definitely a couple months. So I'm not trying to like, bash this thing, right? But yeah, the 50 moving average is a struggle on the line, okay? I mean, on the chart, okay? I loved this break. If you go back, I was super, super bullish on TTOO right here. Again, I love when the distance from the moving averages are spaced out like this, especially when it's backed by nothing more than just red, 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 red all the way down. Like this was easy to love, okay? And like I said, I started the video with it. I thought this was gonna break. I actually really did, and from there, we had another little fake out, right? And the 2 commonalities, and it's something to watch for. If it what is it doing anything after hours? No. I am ready for this thing to open over the 50 moving average and potentially fail it and close down here. I think that's a super, super plausible outcome given the history. Again, we saw it barely has gotten to the line, and you can see the struggles, right? Like that one was close to breaking it. Let's even just zoom in. Damn, I wish I had more decimals, but you can see it. It's definitely under the red line, right? So this whole thing is about this, and I want to see if I should remove this 15-cent line. Okay, yeah, I don't think this 15 line, I don't think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna lower it to 4. No, at that point, don't get greedy because this thing's shown some difficulty. Where does that put? Yeah, it's still under this. Maybe we can argue that we'll go to the bottom of the candle. Yeah, it's 15. 15 is the number here. Honestly, I really wouldn't touch this stock under 15. okay? I am super happy to give up the 6 cents. That's obviously a wild percentage between the 9 that we're at, but I'm telling you, this is going to be super noisy, super choppy, super hard. I would love to trade from 15 to basically 27. That's not quite 2x, but it's right there, right? And again, there's no such thing as easy trading, no such thing as guarantee trading, but that is the healthy channel to say 15 cents to 27 cents is the money line and the money channel, all right? I think anything below 15, you're gambling a little bit, you know? And hey, nothing wrong with that, baby. You know I call myself a crackhead gambler every now and then. I think you can argue that 13 cents might be an interesting entry. It actually, physically, you are over the 50 moving average and basically you're at the bottom of this 530 candle. But yeah, I think it's not worth the extra couple pennies. I would wait, like I said, no such thing as safer, but I think waiting for 15 should be, you know, safer and going in a little earlier. So what does the weekly look like? Again, this 8 moving average, I don't want to say it again because I didn't really say it earlier, right? But yeah, this 8 moving average is the struggle here. We get over it. We actually start and over it, but no, it's no, right? Like, yes, physically, 1, 2, 3, all 4 of these weeks are over it. We have not broken the 8 moving average. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get the difference between breaking and getting over. And I'm sure you do. There's others that are new, so that's why I'm kind of repeating it, right? But yeah, it's TTOO, 15 cents. I think there's actually not too many reasons to touch it under 15 cents. Still has massive volume. I'll at least call that out. I know I didn't really talk about it, but yeah, that's definitely a thing. All right, QBTS, right there. There we go. I actually have to get my cat out. Sorry, give me 1 second. What are you doing? You want to get out of here? All right. All right, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, QBTS. So there's some things happening here, all right? And I'm saying that because I'm looking at this. Like I said, I wasn't too familiar with this chart, okay? Struggles with the 200, struggles with the 200, struggles with the 200, struggles with the 2. We're actually over the 200. And, okay, that's not a confirmation on this day because we're under this one. This is a decent candle for sure. However, it's not a beautiful one. And I think that's kind of why we're seeing the reaction over the last couple days, okay? I'm zooming out because I just want to see, oh man, for sure. And that's what I remembered. I think my alert, man, I wonder if I got an alert one of these days and I just wasn't paying attention. But look, the gap fill line, and I know this isn't a true gap, it's not like a blank, right? But that red, I mean, the next place up is here, okay? Like, there's nothing else. And then after that, it's here, and then we're talking about all-time highs, right? So this is going to be a really hard line to break, and right, and it's important to know it's going to break, because yeah, then like I said, it actually could be a quick run here. I don't know if this is the one that's going to stop it, all right? But what am I seeing now? Look, we have bounced on the 8, bounced on the 20. We're at that moment again. Are we going to bounce on the 20? Or are we going to lose it? If we lose it, I think 182, 180 is probably, wow, that's a little bit lower than expected. Okay, 175. I think these two are basically making a hard single line that's probably going to meet at 180, right? Like, I think 180 is the lowest that this goes. I think coming down to 180 is not bad. As long as we, like, end of the day, just hold the 200 moving average, all right? Again, I'm showing it right now. We're not that far away from breaking all-time highs and just flying with no resistance, right? This alone is a nice, healthy one. And I got to make sure I've got an alert. I'm going to set my alert for 281, 2.81. Okay? Like, I want in after that. I think you need to be respectful of the resistance. I do. Now look, 8 and 20 are still going up even after the last 3 days, right? Red candle, red candle, red candle. 8's still going up. Actually, 20's still going up. In a lot of ways, 50's still going up, right? Like, there's a lot of positivity in those right there, right? So, this is the last thing I wanted to see. This seems like, oh man, there's a lot of distance if it falls. Look, I think tomorrow either the 20 moving average catches this thing and we bounce back up, or it goes to 180. right? Hopefully a little high. Let's just say it goes down to the 200, but hopefully not losing it, right? Maybe even not even that low. Maybe this is the lowest it goes. Maybe 205. Maybe 205, 206. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm going to set an alert. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll pay attention to this, though, for sure. I think 205, 206 could be an interesting line as well. And again, hold the 200 is the only thing that really matters. At this point, we're talking about pennies to potentially hit some big dollars, right? So don't lose moving averages. Let's hopefully the 50 golden crosses in, and it's a good golden cross, right? And yeah, QBTS is looking pretty good. Ah, look at this. 50 moving average just got created. So we are over all moving averages, over all moving averages, over all moving averages. We are no longer, right? Like the 50 actually started this week. Wasn't there this week, right? You can see that 50 line's not under the 20 average, but it is right here, right? So we do got it. This is the money line. Get over 280. QBTS could be a really, really interesting stock. What did the weekly stuff down here look like? I didn't really look. Not bad. MACD's getting close to the negative. RSI's a little high. And again, with the 50, I think we need to come down a little bit, and I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. What are you at? 209. Look at that. That's good. That's good reassurance to that 206 number I just said, actually. Maybe 209, 206. Like I said, maybe that's where it is, and we're not even going to come near the 200, which even would be better, right? So Lucid, let's take a look at LCID. Interesting ticker here. Woof. 50 moving average did the job. 50 moving average got it back over the 8 and the 20. Today we have broken 3 moving averages. Money line is definitely, like, hold on though. Let me zoom out. Let me just zoom out real quick. Okay. So again, this was the Saudi pop. We have now been on a pretty hard downtrend, really held down by this 100. Held down right here, held down right here, held down right here, couldn't even touch that, held down right here, held down right here. Let's see what happens right here. This stock is all about the 100 moving average. I think, is this too high a line? That's a little too high a line. I think that's still a little too high a line. How about you? How about you? All right, this is our line. Again, there's no such thing as safe or whatnot, right? But that's where my alert is going. 7.6, give me a penny over that. $7.61. I like Lucid. I think I would, actually. Again, I'm overall bullish on the EV sector. If you looked at my other EV stock video today, I liked every single one except Mullen. Mullen's just struggling with the moving averages. I actually liked Lucid around here, and it's funny. I actually even asked, and I don't know if I got any answers or not, but I asked, does Lucid look better than Rivian? I actually went with Rivian. I'm glad I did, but I remember making the video around here. Maybe I even made it here, and this one popped before Rivian did, if I'm not mistaken, and I started getting a little upset, but I didn't do anything stupid. I'm pretty sure all that's like coming back in my head right now, but hey, one more time, break the 100 moving average, and I really, really like Lucid. Otherwise, you've seen it. It's pretty much been since the Saudi pop. This thing's, and even the Saudi pop could never even get a confirmation over that, right? So obviously that's where that line is based on, but you know, we'll talk about the 200 after this. But for now, that is the whole moral of the story. Ooh, interesting here. That's a good weekly. I think the moral of the story, looking at Lucid, is just be a little patient. All right, I think we're gonna break this 20 because I actually really like this MACD. I think that I like this RSI. I think MACD is looking to get to the 0. And like I said, I know volume's been looking good for a minute now, and this is just weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks, right? So volume's holding really nicely here. So just be patient, and I think Lucid will do pretty well. But again, nothing good will happen until this 100 moving average is able to break. Okay. Dude, last is NVOS. Hey, it's been a long time since I've talked about NVOS. You can see I actually haven't even updated this chart much. I'm going to try to just continue this downtrend, right? And you can see it's pretty money, right? I had it based on this one, right? I went from this corner to this corner, just continued it. That never even hit, right? So I kept saying 15 and 16 was the money line. Like that's when like the belief was. And again, why did we like NVOS? Dude, gap fill city, right? Like this 200 moving average was so much higher than it is right now too. Like there were a lot of different signals that money was to be made on NVOS. Unfortunately, if you watched my videos, I kept, I was bullish at moments and then would quickly go away from it. I was bullish at moments and would quickly go away from it. And that was basically this and this, right? This and this, this and this, this and this. And then once you lose the moving average, and all I'm seeing is just going down, going down, going down. Like, I don't think that this is over. I don't. I think it's going to be really hard to get over this line, let alone this line, let alone any of those, let alone that 100 that's kind of looking flat. I actually think that the 200 is going to cross under the 100. NVOS. I'm so sad for this. And dude, we're knocking on the doors of all-time lows. We are knocking on the door of all-time lows. And I always say it, when that's the case, get ready to lose 20%. And that's basically, going down to 9 cents. And then after that, it's kind of basically going down to 7 cents, right? Like, dude, this is sad. This is for sure sad. I remember talking, so there was some like funding thing too. And it was one of the things I talked about. I was like, look, how much fun, like 40 million is the number that's coming to my mind. But like, man, just, this is sad. I got no other technical analysis stuff to say other than if this slips into all-time lows, 9 cents is my next target, followed by 7 cents, 20% loss, then 20% loss. All these moving averages look so bad. That's a bad MACD. That's a bad RSI. I know it says 12. I know that normally seems low. Honestly, I'm seeing these two kind of signaling divergence, and yeah, I think doji after doji after doji. I think a red hard candle might come. Hey, maybe the opposite. Maybe we do come up to this, but dude, there's so much to worry about on NVOS, and really the pull the plug and eject moment was right here. So, hey, let me know if you disagree, but this one was a rough one to talk about. I was a fan of this if you watched my old videos, but yeah, this is sad. So, hey, let me know again your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, thank you.